There's been a change in people, and nobody wants to talk about it. It has been a shift that has been taking place gradually. And those who are socially conscious, we can see the incremental breakdown of morality. We're also witnessing mass delusion, hysteria, and a cognitive dissonance like never before. And human interaction is just no longer the same anymore. A lot of connections are beginning to feel forced. Everybody is extremely guarded because the love of many have waxed cold. And being a person who is aware and cognitive of what's going on, it can be a very lonely road. We're also made to believe that something is wrong with us for being able to actually see what's going on. And a lot of the times we are the ones who get outcasted or ostracized just for being aware and having discernment. But the truth is, something really has changed. There's a very daunting presence in this present time. And a lot of people are very standoffish. A lot of places you go, people are rude. Even when it comes to customer service, it's almost like people will have an attitude because they're doing their job. And it's one of those things that is so normalized nowadays. People pretty much sweep it under the rug. But the truth is, it's not supposed to be so much division. It's not supposed to be so callous out here, and it's beginning to get to the point where there's no real balance. You got social media as well that's playing a role. A lot of people are plugged into these devices 24/7 and not really communicating among each other. And you can see a shift on everyone's countenance. There's a lot of burden. There's a lot of financial anxiety. There's a lot of depression and stress going on. And it's because we're in a godless generation. It's because there's a lack of truth. The scriptures talk about it being a famine, not of bread and water, but a famine of the word. And this famine of the word is really culminating or cultivating an environment that feels heavy. Where there's no truth, there's no light. The scriptures also tell us where there's no real leadership, where there's no real guidance, the people fall. The people go into disarray and confusion. And nowadays, there's not too many voices that are actually keeping the people on point. Discernment is our number one priority in this time because you even have these NPCs and zombies who can cosplay as God's chosen people. They can cosplay as those who are empaths or those who are sincere, when in actuality, it's just a role. It's a front. And some of you all have crossed paths with some of these individuals. And it has made you even more guarded because now you can't go off of words alone, which is a good thing that you can see that. Now you have to judge things based on people's actions. Because why? Actions speak louder than words. You got to be careful who you call a friend. The Bible tells you that. The scriptures also tell us that friendship is born out of adversity. So when the chips are down, or there's a goal that needs to be accomplished, or work that needs to be done, and then you meet a friend that can help you with that, then more than likely you've came across true friendship. But nowadays it's not like that. Everybody is opportunistic. Everybody's trying to see what they can get from the next person. They're self-serving. And it's a very selfish energy. And it's because everybody is uncertain. And because of their uncertainty, they're trying to do whatever they can to solidify themselves in a fallen world. And the world is feeling the effects because of this selfishness, because of people who will do anything to anyone just to secure themselves. The scriptures tell you, though, the person that tries to gain their life will lose it. The person that will sacrifice, the person that will be selfless, they will gain life. And that's just what it is. When you have a self-serving energy, it will cost you at the end. And see, this is the time that we're living in right now, where you can witness the shift in people, you can see the desperation, but nobody really wants to talk about it. It's the elephant in the room. It's one of those things where if you speak out about the atmospheric change in people and how things seem to be, then you the one who, for whatever reason, looks crazy. Let me tell you this right now. You're not crazy for having discernment. You're not crazy for being socially aware. You're not crazy for actually feeling what's going on. The Most High is giving you discernment. The Most High is allowing you to see, because there's a lot of people who are walking in a strong delusion. There's a lot of people who are mindless drones, and they're pretty much background characters, and they're going to live their whole lives being plugged into the matrix. See, the truth is, a lot of you brothers and sisters are going through an awakening. And this awakening didn't happen overnight, just like people becoming zombies and living dead didn't happen overnight. When you really think about what has transpired in y'all's lives, you know, it was a series of events that was meant to be learning experiences. And it took some of us a while to actually realize what was going on. The Most High was trying us for this exact time that we're living in right now to be set apart. Now, a lot of us no longer even feel the need to fit in anymore. A lot of us don't feel the need to be validated by anyone. A lot of us are at the point now where we're just not interested in the people of this world. And some of you all are going to deal with backlash just for pulling away. And the scriptures actually also tell you that when you turn from sin, you becometh a prey. Meaning when you turn away from the world, when you turn away from your old vices, when you renew yourself, when you transform, you know, you become a target. You know, there's a target placed on your back. So you no longer want to fit in, because you know people can see that you're not the same. You know, when you get around certain individuals, the energy has changed. You know, there's a lot of people who want to see you in your state of confusion. They didn't want you to go on your self-improvement journey. They didn't want you to focus in on yourself and your goals. Now, don't mistake focusing on yourself as being self-serving, because focusing on yourself is important. A lot of you brothers and sisters who have been chosen by the Most High, you have put a lot of people before you. And when you look around, you got to ask yourself, what did that get you? When you put everybody before yourself and it brought you no happiness, no joy, and there was no reciprocity, and you were just forced to carry everybody's weight. It's not a good feeling at all when at the end you just realize that all you had was yourself, your true loved ones, and the Most High. You know, being compassionate in this time during this shift can be rather dangerous nowadays, because you got a lot of people who are simply acting. They're only playing a role, and that energy is everywhere. Nobody is being authentic. Nobody is being genuine. There's a lot of people who look at the Most High's chosen people and they mimic them. You know, they do whatever they can to get close to those type of people who really carry the Holy Spirit. So we got to become way more intentional with who we surround ourselves with. We got to become discerning, not on what people say. People can be really crafty and cunning with their words. We got to practice on what people do. And I'm going to tell you, this change in people, it is a very demonic spirit that I see on a whole lot of people, where they can make it seem as if there's some way. There's a lot of people who are chameleons, and they can put on this mask, right, just to get close to you. It could be friendship. It could be intimate relationship. A person can act like they are designated for you, and they're everything that you want them to be, when really they're just mimicking from studying you. You got to understand, brothers and sisters, when you are chosen by the Most High, there are people who study your moves. They study how you are, your ins, outs, how you move, all of that, how you articulate the things you desire, the things you want, all of that. There's people who literally study you, and they'll try to gain entry. And if you are truly tapped in, you will witness this spirit. You will witness when somebody is just trying to gallivant as someone who is true. And the way you'll see that is when you set healthy boundaries. That's how you do it. Once you set those healthy boundaries and they begin to lash out or act, out of character, out of pocket, their true colors begin to show when you set boundaries, because they'll get frustrated that their flattery didn't work. They'll get frustrated that, their mimicking didn't work. They'll get frustrated that their manipulations just didn't work. And this change that's happening in people, it is something that we can avoid, but we're going to have to be right within. From the famous words of Lauryn Hill, how you going to win when you ain't right within? Anytime you are not in your purpose, anytime you are not doing what it is you need to do, these people can gain entry. So you got to be more than aware. You have to have top-notch discernment in this day and age, in this time. So what I want you brothers and sisters to do is let me know if you relate to this message. Talk to me down in the comment section. Have you witnessed this change in people? Is there a certain energy that just seems fake, where people's energy don't match the words they say, or their body language doesn't match, or their impressions don't match the energy that they're putting off, and something just seems fake? It's almost like you can just have that intuition and something's wrong. If you've witnessed that, talk to me down in the comment section. And, we're going to continue to grow and build in this truth. Support by liking the material, hype the video up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. Support the work at newbreedglobaltruth.com. One love to y'all. Peace.